Julia Tilley, and I'm a senior at Fox Lane High School. Now, I'm here with Miss Piquero, the assistant principal at our school. I'm going to ask her some get-to-know-you questions, but hello, Miss Piquero.
Hi, Julia.
Thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure. So where were you born?
I was born in the Bronx and lived there for pretty much up until 8th grade, and I moved to Mamaroneck and have lived in New York all my life until my daughter was born, and now we're in Connecticut.
Where'd you go to high school?
Well, I lived in Mamaroneck at the time, but I went to high school in New Rochelle, the Ursuline School. So very different from this school. It's an all-girls school and Catholic school. So we had our uniforms that we had to wear every day. You know, we were a very small school and not very diverse. And for me, the power of who we are at the high school is our diversity and our sense of community, how there's so many different activities to get involved in that I never had the chance at my school. So if I could do high school over again, knowing what I know now, I would.
What activities did you participate in your high school years?
Yeah, so I didn't get to participate in much, and I don't think you're going to be surprised when I tell you what it was. But since I lived in a different town, I had to take the bus back home, and I had to work after school. But the one activity that I did was the Spanish club. And my school actually didn't have one, and that was the one club that I started. And there's only like 4 of us, but we did a lot of cool things in the club, but it was very, very cool.
What was your favorite high school experience?
Ooh, my favorite high school experience, probably graduation. And, you know, high school for me was it's a real blur. Like I just remember working really, really hard in all my classes and just that one club that I did. But I think that moment when I walked across the stage and said to myself, wow, there's a great big world out there. And I think actually that's another thing that I think we do here that I wish I had done then, like really know that there's a great big world out there, not just the high school that you're in.
What's some advice you would give your high school self?
My gosh, don't worry. Don't worry. I think that we always think that in the moment, like if there's a problem or if there's an issue or if things seem so hard, it's like, oh my God, I'm never going to get out of this. But you know, knowing what we know now as adults and knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel, like it's okay, live life and live well, but you know, don't worry about all those things that can get you down or drag you down. Life is good.
Why were you interested in becoming a teacher?
I always wanted to be a teacher. Like, you ever hear those stories about the little kids who set up school in their room and they have like their dolls and the stuffed animals? I always had my chalkboard. I just always loved school. And I think when I got older and I started working as either camp counselor or, you know, babysitting and volunteering, like I enjoy the energy of kids, especially teenagers, you know.
When did you come into the school district?
Oh, my goodness. I don't want to date myself. So how about this? I'm in a yearbook that's still black and white. So I started here in 1991. It was my, my first job right out of college. And it was my only interview I ever did, and the rest is history. This is really my second home. You know, it's been a lot of years, but I wouldn't change it for a thing.
So how is it different being an administrator from being a teacher?
That's a really good question. I would say that as a teacher, my perspective was more focused on my individual classes and some of the extracurricular work that I did. But I think as an administrator, one of the things that I find most interesting, especially being in a school that I already knew, is how much happens on the outside to make the inside run and be effective. That's the biggest difference. And, you know, definitely not being in a classroom every day is a different experience, but connections and speaking with kids and those moments, that still makes it why we do the work that we do and love what we do, because it's all about, you know, supporting you guys. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it really is. It really is. You know, sometimes students might feel that, oh, I don't want to go down into the front office, but my door is always open when I'm out and about. Just anything they need, anytime, just let me know. But it's just, this is the second home, and anything I can do for anybody.
Well, thank you for letting us interview you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm really honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.